Catherine,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm going to make an introduction here to the YouTube and let everyone know that this is my friend Catherine from Regeneration Nation, and she is the contributor of the month. I wanted to thank you for that, Catherine, and if you are interested at all in why I chose you, it is because of your overwhelming positivity. So,
Thank you.
how's that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you've
Thank you
been,
so much.
Catherine, if I'm not mistaken, you've been around for a while now.
Yes, I have. I would say close to 2 years.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you've just always been very, very supportive, and I really appreciate that. So I wanted to tell you, Catherine, that I'm sending you a Kuvings juicer and some NCP stuff, as well as the Energy Explosion package. Do you have the DVDs already?
I think I have 3 of them, Dan.
Oh, that's good. Well, then the
I
energy.
know.
Do you know the Energy Explosion package?
This is wonderful. This is wonderful.
Okay, cool. Well,
Thank you so much.
we've already talked about that.
Pardon me?
I was just I told everyone on the YouTube we already talked about that. So I just wanted to get straight into. Now I don't know you that well. I know you a little bit from Regeneration Nation, but Action Jackson's joining us on the filming today, Catherine.
That's great.
You'll enjoy the video later, especially this part, I think.
Oh, I will. I absolutely will.
So anyways, my intention today is to help Catherine, if I can, to move forward. And then, sorry everyone, I got distracted by Action Jackson drinking my water. So hopefully I don't get parched in this video. But today, if you're still here watching this video, I intend to share some valuable health information. So I wanted to just have you share your story a little bit, Catherine. Anything you want to share about how you found the videos, or what kind of health issues you had, or what's improved. And then if there's anything I can do to help you, my intention is to help you and to help as many people as I can that are watching this video.
Okay. Well, I'll try to put it to you in a nutshell. In 1997, I woke up with extreme flu-like symptoms and spent 15 years pretty much daily feeling as though I had the worst hangover and the flu on top of that, and not sleeping. And honestly, it feels like it's been a nightmare. And I think it was back in 2005, I was literally laying on my apartment floor asking God, please show me. Please help me. Show me what is wrong with me. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll do what you want me to do. And 2 months later, I found myself 2,000 miles away in PEI. And
PEI?
I'm a dreamer, so I had a dream. I had a spiritual dream, and God basically told me to change my diet. And I woke up from that dream, I felt literally paralyzed. I could hardly get out of my bed. I felt paralyzed. But all I knew was I had to change my diet, but I did not know to the depth of what this meant. And then I met my health coach in California through the internet. And this beautiful man guided me in the disease process. He taught me why I was sick and dying and all of this. And it was absolutely beautiful teachings. And but I kept hitting a brick wall. I just kept hitting this brick wall. And Tim and I parted, and I got up one morning and extremely sick again. and I was cooking my breakfast at the stove, and I just broke down and cried, and I said, please, God, help me. I said, I've done all I know to do. I said, it's just you and me now. I said, please, help me. And I had this strong sense and urge to go visit a friend of mine, just to be near her, just needed to go be near her. And I walked into her store, and she looked at me, and she said, gluten. And that was sort of the beginning of things changing. So I came home, and I just started eliminating all gluten. And boy, did I get my digestive system revealed to me how beat up I was inside there. But I still that wasn't enough. I was still falling in my face. And then I met you. I met you on YouTube. Because I was searching about diet. And I came across you, Dan. And I spent the last 2 years, in the beginning of, Dan, it was such a painful experience. I couldn't even eat an orange. I couldn't eat watermelon. I couldn't eat nothing. My digestive tract was just, I was eating something and it was coming out looking the same. Chewed up, just completely undigesting my food. And then, where was I going? But I kept going at it.
Catherine,
I kept trying things like fats, and I'd eliminate, and I kept trying fruits, and I kept stopping them, and I just kept trying, and then eventually when I went 100% raw, which was 2 months ago, I mean, I saw progression all along. I was making progress. I noticed things getting better all the time. But this last 2 months, 100% raw without cooked potatoes, because that was one thing I kind of was hanging on to.
Of course.
For the 2 years, right? And a little bit of steamed greens at times. But that stopped real soon because they were not digesting at all. It was really painful. And I remember trying to have just a teaspoon of avocado just to try the fats because I was just, and I would get doubled over with abdominal pains for 3-4 hours. And then, like I said, this last 2 months, I've been able to eat avocados every day. I can't believe it. Just a lot of things. My chemical sensitivities that were an absolute nightmare have seemed to cease. Now, I don't know that they're completely gone, but I'm not freaking out anymore by things in my environment. My nose that bled for 15 years, when I went 100% raw, it stopped. Mm-hmm. And that's when my eyes got real big. I said, okay, because I've been saying all along, when I see that blood stop, I'm going to know there's something to this.
Yeah.
And, but that's just one of those things.
So, can I ask you, was your diet pretty much standard throughout life?
Absolutely. It was less than probably, it was just fatty, greasy foods all the time. I wasn't a big sugar person. I didn't care for sweets that much. It was the fatty, greasy stuff I wanted all the time, and I still crave it, actually.
Okay, yeah, and you will until you get that debris out of the cellular memory, and that's the beginning of the path, and this is where the willpower comes in to release the old and make room for the new.
I'm looking forward to it.
How old are you now, Catherine, can I ask?
I am now 45.
Okay, so you're still really young, and this is what's happening in our society. And particularly if you want to have problems with your digestion and your GI tract, please feel free to eat all the fried, cooked, savory, fatty foods you want. And those fats will plug you up and they will inhibit your digestion, and they will bung up your bloodstream, and they will clog up your cells and thicken up your lymphatic system, and you will go downhill el rapido. People are eating fried, cooked everything, cooked fats. Bad news. Number one, get out the cooked fats. That's going to clog you up, and you're never going to be able to absorb through the GI tract the water-based being that you are, you know?
Yeah.
Even fats need to be emulsified into a water-soluble absorbability to extract the nutrients from them as well. So, so now 2 months on raw food, and you are a lot better off.
Oh, I'm starting to also notice, because I used to read about people and their symptoms of detoxification, and I used to think, why am I not getting those things? All through my last 7 years of trying to get well here, I kept thinking, why am I not experiencing all these breakouts and this and that? And since I went 100% raw, my left nostril inside has been broken out into a sore that just healed up a couple days ago for 6 weeks.
Like a zit,
thought,
kind
okay,
of?
This is detox.
Was it like a big zit?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it kept oozing.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
And there's lots of oozing that goes on in the detox process. I mean, I'm sure you've heard this all a million times from me before and now, let me know what your program is now. Just 100% raw with variety?
It's 100% raw. I'm doing the first thing in the morning is I do a big thing of water, about 32 ounces of water, distilled water, and then I wait a little bit and I do about 48 ounces of a very, very powerful ginger blast. I think it might be more powerful than yours.
Good.
And then a couple of hours later, I will do another 40 ounces of a grapefruit and oranges, and then I add some of Dr. Morse's super blend, superfood like.
Okay.
And that I have that, and then that takes me. I don't feel to eat until about 2 in the afternoon, and then I've been having lately. It's been avocado and tomatoes, and that's basically it. And I'll do that around 2. I'll have some, and then around 3 I'll have another little bunch of that. I don't eat all raw at once. Because I find the less I eat, the better I'm feeling.
Yeah, well, that's the key to the whole thing that the world is yet to discover. In fact, 99% of the people in the world are simply eating themselves to death.
Oh, I see that in myself. I see how it was taking over my mind, my body, my spirit. It was too much.
Yes.
And it didn't seem right.
Yeah, you lose a certain amount of clarity when there's too much food in the stomach. And what happens is, in almost all cases of diseases, regardless of what you've got, what the doctor calls it, you've got an accumulation of improper food combinations, wrong foods, too much foods. Even if you're a raw foodist, too much food. More than the organism can eliminate. And the food is really a stimulant to activate cell function. And then you want to get that food out of there. But what happens is it just backs up and backs up because of the chemistry of the foods and the food combining, and it's just sitting there in your gut, putrefying, rancidifying, and it's leaving behind residues, inorganic minerals when you cook your food, all through the joints, through the tissues, all throughout the blood vessels, clogging up the blood vessels with mucus, pus, and acid, waste matter, and then the blood circulation is inhibited and then the organs, glands, tissues, and cells simply begin to shut down. A feeling of lassitude sets in. People are in their 20s or something, and then they start a little coffee here, a little cocaine there, a little bit of whatever. They use alcohol, all these little stimulants. They can get another 10, maybe 20. Sometimes if you have a strong constitution, 30 years out of that. Out of those cellular stimulants, with just bam, you're like whipping a tired horse. When what you really need to do is reduce the amount of food eaten and incorporate higher quality, high water, easily digestible, mineral rich, water-based foods that will stimulate cells, because we do need to stimulate ourselves. We got to go to work, we got to take our kids to soccer practice, I mean, we got houses to clean. But the problem is that people aren't absorbing much, so they're pretty much starving themselves by eating the foods of society. And that's why I recommend as much raw food as possible. And in any case like this, it's always about reduction of some type. Whether that is step one is basically you're at step one, Catherine. So that if you want to get to step two, you'll simplify even more. Like step one is the raw food diet. Step two is like a way cleaner raw food diet. Step three is like a fruit diet. And step four is like a juice fast. Step 5 is like a mono juice fast. Step 6 is something like the master cleanse. And step 7, the ultimate, is a superior fasting, which is just sips of water and much rest for the organs and glands. And in the end, all of us, if we are experiencing any kind of health difficulty, are going to have to do some type of fast. Many times we can get 90% relief in certain cases with just a fruit diet or even a juice cleanse. We can reduce, we can eliminate the offending foods, get rid of the stress. We get a little more energy, we get outside, we get more oxygen, we get more sunlight, we start resting better, we remove some of the sediment and the irritants in the cells, and we can sleep better at night. And then a lot of the irritation, anger, frustration, impatience can leave us cellularly, and then that sediment sort of basically washes out the urine. And I can't prescribe one type of reduction for any kind of person. In your case, Catherine, since you're 100% raw, I would go there and keep doing what you're doing, because it sounds like you're making progress. But when you're ready, you would take out the meals and you would go on a liquid program. Have you ever done that?
I totally agree with you here. I'm totally agreeing. I see that, and I see I'm going to eventually need to fast. And I did try a 36-hour fast a few weeks ago, and my God, I was sick.
Yeah, so
holy moly, I was sick.
That's right. So that tells me one thing. That tells me one thing, Catherine. You're not in good shape. 36 hours. Once you get healthy, once you're fairly healthy, 36 hours on water, you shouldn't really notice anything at all.
Yeah.
The second and third days on water fasting, you miss your food, you're kind of lonely, you've got more time and space, you realize how much you think about food. And then on the fourth day, it's like, whoa, man, it's just all that just goes away and you're rolling. But a 3-day water fast is what I call the easy reset. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing. You got to understand the fasting process, and you have to educate yourself. I have hundreds of books right now on my floor on fasting and nothing is going to surprise me, and it doesn't, surprise me one bit. Anything that comes up, the tiredness, the weakness, the energy, the melancholy, sometimes you can't sleep because of the cellular irritants. So Catherine, your next move would be to read up more on the water fasting experience. Read some of the testimonials that are in most fasting books about 22-day water fast cures this, of after 14 or 20 years of doctors, pills, prescriptions, surgeries, and then they go in for a 22-day water fast and the kidney disease is gone, or they do a 42-day water fast, and people think, oh, this can't be done, but that's ridiculous, because I myself have read of thousands of cases of people that have gone more than 40 days without food to much benefit, and I've also known many people who have done extensive water fasting. I myself have done a little bit of water fasting, and with nothing but benefit to the organism, as well as to the self-consciousness, the understanding of your attachments, your aversions, and some of the emotional and mental issues that need to be worked on, because food is the last great suppressor. Drugs, entertainment, sex, all those things are great distractions, but food is a unique one in that you do need food, but you don't need to use it in the way that we do to suppress irritation, depression, and loneliness and fear, and you just keep digesting those emotions when you eat. So self-discipline, willpower, knowledge, and the application of that. You have to want health more than you want to continue on with your comfortable habits of living.
Absolutely. That's where I am then. That's where I've been for 5 years. I just had to grow and find and seek, and I never stopped seeking. And I'm sitting here right now with, God bless her, Tanya sent me her books on fasting. Arnold Efforts.
Yeah,
Rational Fasting and Mucusless Diet, and I got Bragg's Fasting, and so I've got some books here.
Fantastic. I've been thinking about making a video of all the fasting books I've got, because I get all these crazy weird ones from old school that nobody's ever even heard of, because I go to these special publishers and stuff, and everyone has different ideas, enemas, no enemas, the thing is, I don't go into water fasting that much because most people aren't there, but some type of reduction diet, I don't think there's anybody watching this thing that wouldn't benefit from that, because people, they're relatively healthy and they may be athletic and whatnot, but there are other things to fasting. It's not about the body, there's physical fasting, emotional fasting, mental fasting, and spiritual fasting. And you're kind of in the phase of physical fasting right now. But they are all actually all one and the same. But right now, suffice to say, most people could just use some reduction. And it's going to take a mental decision to understand that by overeating every day because you're clogged up and you're not assimilating and utilizing and eliminating those foods, your lymphatics are plugged up, your blood is acidy, there's pain in your shoulders, pain in your neck, pain in your knees, pain in your kidneys, pain in your stomach, pain in your chest, pain that comes from the accumulation of more than the body can eliminate. And if we were eating more naturally, that wouldn't be a huge deal. It's okay to get nice and chubby on some healthy, high quality foods. The problem is we're all getting chubby, and I'm talking about having a little extra. I like to have a little extra. so avocados and some oil and extra fruit and stuff, as long as you're getting plenty of physical exercise, is great. But the majority of people, even skinny people, this is what is the doctors and whatnot, no offense, no judgment, but I'm just saying, I'm not a medical doctor either, but I'm just saying, they just are not trained in health. So we're trying to get healthy, and you can't eat to keep up your strength if you're not absorbing, utilizing, and eliminating. And so for people that are skinny and eating everything in sight, there's a reason why you're super skinny and not able to gain weight, because your GI tract and your organs and glands and your blood are just plugged up. You're not getting oxygen to the glands, which produce growth hormones, and your GI tract is clogged up. You're not absorbing, and you can't put on any healthy quality tissue. So a reduction diet, believe it or not, say orange juice or the Master Cleanse or cucumber juice diet for 7 days, you're going to eliminate so much of that sludge that you're going to increase the absorption. And in the end, water fasting is the ultimate. But I don't talk about that very often because I just think that the vast majority are still just trying to get to a place where they're not killing themselves with a lot of heavy dead food. So that's why I'm just really big on just raw food, because raw food at least stops the accumulation of the inorganic minerals, which are the result of high heat and the high heated fats and the high heated starchy carbohydrates, high carbon bonds, which, the gluten leaving behind those residues, gluing up your whole GI tract and then inhibiting that utilization. So I'm just big on the raw foods, and someday I hope to go into this a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to be doing a deep tissue detoxification DVD, but yet still, it's just the juicing and raw food program. What I say about fasting here, everyone needs to research that themselves. And if you're hurting, but like I said though, in your case, Catherine, you can continue to improve just through the reduction. If you went on 36 hours on water and you felt that bad, you are not in good shape in your GI tract, your colon, your organs and glands are sludged up. And when 36 hours after water, you're feeling that bad, you are really overloaded. And so you need to continue on with the reduction. One of the best reduction juices for me is the juice of 2 or 3 oranges, and then the rest of it to fill up to 32 ounces of water. Orange juice is a cleanser, big time, and it's sweet, so it's expansive and cleansing. The lemon, if you take lemon and ginger, that's also very cleansing, but it's more of a puller. So if you need to expand with some sweetness and flush, the oranges are really good. If you need to pull toxicity out of the cells, lemon is really good. And ginger. And then, so I'm going to stop the video right here, Catherine, because this camera only goes to 30 minutes. And then I'm going to start on a part 2, and we'll go a little bit more into some of the recipes that I use to just illuminate, energize, build my blood, electrify my cells, feed my brain without stuffing my body so full of food that the function of the glands, organs, and tissues begin to become inhibited. So let me shut the camera off now, and we'll start over on part 2. So please find part 2 of this video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, just a sec, Catherine.